They emerged from Holly's secret alleys into a back street. The city was louder here. Varjak could hear the shrieks and roars of those metal monsters close by. There were people too, their long striding shadows flickering on the walls, and their shoes click-clacking on the pavement. "Keep your head down," said Holly, as she led the way through the black rain-soaked streets. "Don't want to be seen. You can't be too careful in this part of town." "This is where a lot of the vanishings happened," said Tam. That word again. Vanishings. Everyone seemed to be talking about it. "What's a vanishing?" said Varjak. "It happens all over the city," Tam whispered, "but especially here. One day a cat's there, the next they're gone, with no trace, nothing, just gone, vanished." Her brown eyes closed in dread. "Some say it's her." Varjak smiled and looked at Holly, expecting that she would make a joke of it, but Holly's tail swished anxiously. "The truth is, no one knows," she said, black and white fur prickling. "It's another reason why Ginger and his gang are so edgy right now. They've lost a lot of good cats. Who's next? That's the question." The question made Varjak think about home. Who'd be next for the gentleman and his cats now the elder Paul was gone? He shivered at the thought. The world he came from and this world outside was so different. The gentleman and the blues meant nothing here. The Contessa's house had no gangs or vanishings. Was he all that connected the two worlds? So who was he? And where did he belong? He couldn't go home without a dog, that much he knew. And what would it take to make a new life outside? "Maybe I should be in a gang," mused Varjak. In a gang it wouldn't matter that he wasn't a proper Mesopotamian blue, or that he'd failed his family. No one would know, no one would care. He could be himself. He could be part of something. He could even have friends. "Gangs are always pushing you around, telling you what to do," said Holly. "It's nothing but yes, boss this, and yes, boss that." "My gang would be very different," said Varjak. "You could do what you liked in my gang." "And who's going to be in this gang with you?" "Well, there's you two and me, that's a start." "Sounds fun," said Tam. Holly laughed. "You think so? And what about the small problem that one of our gang doesn't have a clue what he's doing?" Varjak stopped and stood up straight. "There were 5 of them," he protested. "Didn't mean that. I meant, well, everything you need to know to survive in this city. How to find food and shelter, how to stay out of trouble, how to—" "I can find food, I'm a hunter." He knew she didn't believe him, but he couldn't stop now. "I'm the greatest hunter in the world." "Greatest hunter in the world?" she scoffed. "You, pet cat Varjak? You couldn't even get your own breakfast." But Varjak wasn't listening any more. Stung by Holly's words, he followed his senses down a turning off the street. He was going to show her. "Why are you so mean to him?" said Tam. "It's obvious he can't hunt, but there's no need." "I haven't finished yet. Hey, Varjak, come back. You're not safe on your own. Where are you going?" "To get breakfast," he growled. He could hear the buzz of streetlights, the roaring of the dogs, the rumbling of the city that never stopped, but above all this he could sense something else, something close, drawing him on. He followed it into the shadows, further from the lights. "Come back here," shouted Holly. His eyes adjusted slowly to the dark. Deep down the alleyway he glimpsed a soggy mound of paper and boxes. He could smell food, salty, fishy, oily. But that wasn't what had drawn him. His awareness started to tingle. There was something else. It was as if he was being watched, not just by Holly and Tam, but by some part of the darkness, with eyes as black as shadows. He let his awareness flow out. What he sensed was odd and cold, something not quite alive, but not quite dead either. He frowned. It felt wrong. "Varjak, Paul. It's dangerous down there. Come back right now." It was Holly. He turned and hushed her, and turned back, the tension rising within him. But the strange sensation was gone, leaving no trace. Had he just imagined it? All this talk of vanishings was getting to him. Puzzled, he probed the shadows again with his whiskers. Motion. This time he felt motion, out there in the dark. What was it? Hidden behind the rubbish, something small and sleek was moving. A mouse. It was only a mouse. He let out the tension and grinned. That must have been it all along. Nothing more than a real, live and very breakfast-sized mouse. "So this is it," he told himself. "Your big moment, your first prey. This is not a toy. This is not a dream. It's real and it's happening now. Don't move, not till it's in range. Don't even breathe." Here it comes. It thinks it's safe. Hunting, the third skill. When you stalk your prey, you become your prey. Varjak's senses went out to it, tracing its tiniest movements, merging with it in his mind. The mouse came closer, closer. Crack! His paws shot out, slapped down on the mouse's head, hard, stunned it, held it down. Jaws closed around its neck, teeth sank in, the lethal bite. Varjak gasped. He'd killed it for real, and it was like killing a part of himself. I'm sorry, he thought, beginning to shake. I'm sorry, but I have to eat. Enough and no more. That's the way of the world. He stood and gently picked up the body. His first kill. He gave silent thanks and crunched into his breakfast. It was strange. On the outside, it looked and even smelled like that toy mouse back in the Contessa's house. But as soon as he bit into it, he knew this was something new. It tasted so different to anything he'd eaten before. Real food, fresh and warm. It satisfied him completely. Did you see that? Said Tab. Did you see the way he did it, Holly? Bam! It never had a chance. I saw it, said Holly. Wasn't it something? Beamed Tab. Where did you learn to do that, Varjak? Will you teach me? Actually, he admitted, that was the first time. Holly nodded. Thought it might be. Still, I've seen worse. A lot worse. Maybe you're not as useless as you look, Mr. Paw. Varjak smiled. He never had to rely on people again. He was a hunter now. He had the third skill. Tab's nostrils twitched. What's that smell? She said. Varjak and Holly sniffed the air. The alley curved away into complete darkness, and that salty fishy tongue was coming from a place they couldn't see further down. The scent reminded Varjak of the gentleman's caviar, another thing he'd never have to eat. It smells great, said Tab. I'm going after it. I wouldn't, warned Holly. We're too near Ginger's turf. You don't want to risk it. Wait for the park. Tab licked her chops. It's not that. At least it's not her territory. It smells so good, Holly. There's no one else around. It'll be okay. Come on, Varjak, let's eat. You really like that smell? He said. It's already dangerous here, said Holly. I'm not going any further. You killjoy, muttered Tab. Holly knows best. Holly always knows best. It's true. I do. Well, I bet there's nothing to eat in the park, said Tab. So there. She was right. The park had been picked clean already. They could find no food at all. They all came away hungry, except for Varjak Paw.